Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. Sayyid FAROOQ HASAN is back with a new episode of Sky is the Limit. Today I have a talented duo, very courageous, brave, intelligent and dynamic women from Pakistan. I'm going to introduce both of them to you and you'll really be delighted to know what they are doing for the society and for Pakistan. First of all, we have Zenith Irfan, popularly known as the Motorcycle Girl. She is the first female to have made it to Khunjara Pass in 2015. She also has the credit of having a biopic made in her name by the title The Motorcycle Girl. Assalamu alaikum, Zenith. Good to have you. And with her, we have Ayesha Iftikhar. Ayesha is Director Marketing and Strategy for a leading tire manufacturing company in Pakistan. But her claim to fame is that she's done a lot of work for women empowerment and to promote tourism in Pakistan. She's the second generation in this business, and with herself she brings in this innovation and this care and consideration for Pakistan. Assalamu alaikum, Ayesha.
Assalamu alaikum ji.
Such a pleasure to have you.
Thank you so much for having me.
So, Sky is the Limit. I'm sure you've watched episodes. It's all about your profile, what you've done, and how you brought laurels to Pakistan, your contribution to the society. I'll start off with Zenith first. Zenith, you are also the brand ambassador for Ayesha's company, Panther Tires. Tell me, how did this journey of a female on a motorbike going places start? For starters, let me add that obviously it was a taboo probably till a few years back, women riding motorcycles in public. So how did you break that myth?
I believe that every story begins with a dream, and like my story also began with a dream that my father saw. And since I have this very inner belief that a person may pass away and continue towards their journey towards their afterlife, but dreams don't die.
Yeah.
And when I discovered about my father's dream that he wanted to travel across the world, he wanted to live an adventurous life.
On a motorbike?
On a motorcycle.
Okay.
But because his dream was cut at age 34 because of his passing at a very young age, I put it all on my shoulders
to fulfill that
dream. And that dream then kind of led a pathway to mine and so many of other thousands of girls in Pakistan who might sleep every night dreaming of becoming someone or something, and they might not have role models, to follow. So now I ride bikes, but it's more than motorcycles, it's a dream that I'm fulfilling for my father and also encouraging others to fulfill this.
So it's not just a plain girl riding a motorcycle, it's much more than that.
Yes.
And breaking so many taboos and barriers must have been a very challenging journey. So we want to know the challenges also that you faced across the way. But before that, Ayesha, you picked Zenith as the brand ambassador for your company. You're the second generation in your business. What led you to come into this innovative idea of contributing to the society and promoting tourism, which would obviously help Pakistan, and empowering women, which is a very sensitive subject?
It is just because my father is a great nationalist and he believes in our country. So he had a vision to produce tires in our country locally, because at that point 40 years ago
It was important.
Yes, absolutely. So it was the initial achievement that he did. When I joined it, I said my father has given this country a big manufacturing industry to enable people to ride, and great achievement. What am I supposed to do as a second generation?
How can I add on?
Exactly, because first generation has done it, and mashallah is given a platform to where we can add so many other things. So when I joined the company, I did a lot of marketing. I learned a lot, and which I'm still learning from my father. But there was something which always was a concern, that women should be more enabled to go places,
More empowered.
and the transportation and everything empowering. I always say in my interviews that women are always empowered.
Okay.
It's just the ability that needs to be knocked. We just need to let them like a woman like her. Why I took her was that she is the one who came out of the box.
Yep.
She's not just random woman dreaming. She made sure her dreams, fulfill. So I interviewed her and I really liked the energy that she had. She wanted to explore the world. I say, I need a brave brand ambassador, not to promote my brand,
Yeah.
but to let the girls see that this is also possible in a country like Pakistan, where
Absolutely.
there's a taboo
Yeah.
that women are not safe.
Yeah.
We are very safe.
Yeah.
So we take it. We took her as a brand ambassador, and mashallah, she's been a great support.
Yep.
And the products that I'm launching and which I have a dream is just to empower women and enable them to fulfill their dreams by giving them a reasonable tire for them to
Travel to the most
sustain-
difficult places.
Exactly, to sustain and maintain a transportation,
Wow.
which is only possible if you just let them. You can't just. I always keep saying that you need to provide people the facilities that they can have a good life.
Great. And how did your father or your family take it when you came in and you said that, okay, I want to toy with this idea of, like
Yes.
having a brand ambassador and women empowerment and promoting tourism. How
Yeah.
did they take it? Because
They-
traditional businessmen usually,
Yes.
like
No,
they are
I
very
think-
averse to
Yeah.
these kind of
I
ideas.
think bringing a daughter to a male dominant field, and it's a very male centric. Automobiles is known as a male centric profession.
Yes.
So I think my father is who he is. I always say that he's mashallah
He's
very
your inspiration,
cooperative,
yeah?
an inspiration, and he's proved it. He's proved by letting me do whatever I want to do, letting the industry grow the way we've been working as a team is mashallah incredible.
Wow, and I'm sure you'll go places. Zenith, let's go to the fundamentals. So you told us about the dream, and you weren't born in Pakistan, you were born in UAE, right? You were born in the Middle East. So tell us something about your initial childhood. How was your personality developed? Who was your, like source of inspiration? How were you as a kid, schooling? Were you like the naughty kid, to extrovert, or the introvert, nerdy, always into books and all?
I was very naughty. Like
Okay.
my mother had a tough time dealing with my naughtiness. Like I was scolded by her many times. I was raised in the Middle East in a very diverse background.
Yeah.
I studied in a school where I remember I still vividly remember this yellow color vibrant National Geographic magazine sitting on my mother's shelf, and I was just like skimming through the pages and looking at the world map and just thinking to myself how lucky I would be to travel and witness all of these places in real life. I wanted the images from that magazine to come into life.
And at that time, it
And
would
at
have
that
seemed
time,
impossible.
yeah. At that time, it was impossible, but deep down inside my heart, I knew I was meant to do bigger things.
Right.
I cannot
Yeah.
explain that feeling. There was that feeling, and I really have to give credit to my mother for instilling that strong belief
Right.
that
Wow.
you are meant for bigger things. And I think I kind of understand what Aisha
Amazing.
is
What
saying,
Aisha
you
is
know.
saying.
And that's why even when Aisha was discussing her company, I was shocked to firstly see a CEO of a leading, tire manufacturer, and I was like, wow, it's a refreshing
Change.
it's a big refreshment to see a woman leading
Yeah.
a tire brand, and I think she could understand my passion, and I could understand hers, and it just kind of
So
come
it
into
collaborated
Yes.
and
It was a
became a
beautiful
successful
thing.
It was,
product.
yeah.
And my childhood, like I was always adventurous, very naughty, and as I grew older, the realities of life hit me, of course. And when you grow old, you see your mother leading this widow life, a life of widowhood, and you have a responsibility on you that you have to, as a eldest person, be the bread earner. So at a very young age, from the age of 16, I've been working, and it has made me, alhamdulillah, motorcycle girl of Pakistan with the support of my mom.
Wow.
And people like Aisha, who kind of pushed me forward.
And when did you move to Pakistan?
I moved in 2008, around close to the recession.
And
we
which
were in.
grade were you in at that
I
time?
was in grade 8.
In grade 8. So
Yes.
you moved back to
Yeah, so
Pakistan.
my primary and secondary schooling was done in.
So, and how was the initial shock when you moved back from UAE to Pakistan, and different
Yeah.
society, culture, civilization, friends? How was it?
I still go through moments, even during my journey now, where I go through culture shocks, because Pakistan is not limited to Karachi, Islamabad, and Lahore. Pakistan, I did not even realize at that time, because this is like the late 2010s, the early 2010s, and over here wearing even jeans was frowned upon.
Considered to be a bit.
Yeah, it was considered to be like a bit taboo. So because I was raised in the Middle East, my attire, my look, my language was very different, and then I realized that there's something called desi and burger, and then I was categorized into
as a burger.
As someone who is an overseas Pakistani, has no clue about the environment, the politics, and the entire diaspora of Pakistan.
Yeah.
And then, but there are many moments in my journeys where I go through, even till date, culture shocks, because I believe that Pakistan is not limited to Lahore, Karachi, Islamabad. There is so much to explore.
Yes.
I cannot even begin to tell you how Pakistanis are and who they are.
And you've actually explored the rural areas,
Yes,
the
the
up
most
north.
underrated.
You're
Like,
going
I
to
went-
Quetta.
Like just recently, I went. We were doing the Explore with Panther campaign, and the Explore with Panther campaign centers around telling stories that are untold from the most deepest valleys of Pakistan.
Okay.
So when I was talking to the team, also I was like, I don't want to do just the basic places. I want to go deep inside the valleys and take out stories from the root and tell people, like, hey, there is a girl called Amrina in Shimshal. She's playing football better than Ronaldo. Argue. Story that I was trying to tell, that I wanted, and. Now also we will be traveling to Quetta to show a very different type of Pakistan. Don't want to reveal much. You'll have to stay tuned for that episode.
Okay.
But that's the entire motive behind my journeys.
Okay.
That I want to show the Pakistan that people few years ago were having trouble in pointing it on the map, and now I want to tell stories about Pakistanis that are unsung heroes.
Right.
Yeah.
So every child in Pakistan, I believe, including myself when we were growing up, is told that, okay, you have to select a profession, you have to become a doctor or an engineer or a chartered accountant or a banker or someone like that. Some field you have to choose. I'm sure becoming a motorcycle girl or becoming a person who would travel Pakistan all over on a motorbike would probably not go down as one of the most favorite or one of the most cherished options to your parents or to your elders. If you have to tell that, okay, after studies, I'm not going to become a doctor engineer, but I'm going to travel Pakistan. So how did that transition, or how did you manage to convince your elders or your parents that, okay, this is something I want to do, I believe in it, and this is how I'm going to make it up?
Like I mentioned earlier, because I was raised by a single mother, she had a very strong belief that I do not want to clip my child's wings. She did not clip my wings, and she did not clip my brother's wings. She allowed me to fly and experience life, how it is. And this is the reason why when I was going to school, we were actually faced with a dilemma that how will I be able to commute to work. So when Ayesha says that a woman is empowered, we are supposed to enable it. This is where I found myself. Really. Like there weren't many transport options for me to go to school, and I had to then buy a motorcycle, a small motorcycle, which was actually my uncle's idea, to buy my brother a bike, and my mother's idea was to ask my brother Sultan to teach
you how to ride. Okay, and obviously you were receptive.
Yes, I was receptive, and I still remember the first time I put my hand on the throttle. I knew this is what it means to be Zenith.
And
I was at the Zenith,
Wow. And how many accidents have you had?
A lot.
So far.
But,
lot?
yeah, my entire leg is
Obviously.
full of booze.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's impossible that you.
Yeah.
Okay.
But of course, because this was something that was unseen of and unheard of in Pakistan, when I started writing my online diary and posting my pictures up on Facebook, it caught attention of massive media outlets like CNN and BBC, and I became viral overnight.
Oh, wow.
So it was something like the universe was conspiring towards making me the motorcycle girl of Pakistan.
Wow.
And then it caught the attention of the brands, and then it's.
And that's where Ayesha came.
Yes. And brands like, of course,
And how she came in my thought process was that I was just we were just sitting in a country, and I said, "Ki hamari ladkiyan, why can't our women drive a bike?" And it is quite a doable thing, but it's just that people are not aware of it.
And there's a
It's-
taboo
I don't
also
know.
associated
I
with
don't
it.
know.
I don't know why, but there is.
There's just a taboo,
Yeah.
and I don't even know why the taboo is.
It's something which existed for
Exactly,
ages.
maybe
And
it's inconvenience
Yeah.
more than a taboo. I would say that if it's less safer. So if I have to tell my daughter to get something for me from the market, I would say, "Hi, poor thing, she might fall off from a
and
bike."
get
So it's
herself
more
hurt
of
or
not a taboo. It's probably the safety thing. So I said to make it sure that we need women, because everyone can't afford cars, or everyone. So this is a very something which is more useful.
Yeah.
And every house has a bike.
Yeah.
So how can I put women on bikes?
So that's your motto and that's your
Yeah.
mission. Okay.
How can I put my women? All the women were sitting and waiting for their brothers to take them anywhere. Let's just break the taboo. She can also take,
Yeah.
take her father or a brother or anyone to
So-
shops or anywhere.
Introducing a specific brand for women, pink tire, by the name, something like
It
that.
is basically it came under an idea where I was like, because I've just done my marketing from Harvard, so this is how they teach me to think
Pitch
within the lines
and
and out of
position.
the box.
Yeah.
So within the brand, I had a very limited choice of what to do with the pink tire. We can't say it's a girly tire.
Yeah.
I can't
Then others
change
won't buy it.
It's such a male-centric, it's such a male-dominant company. So I said, by changing just the H into her and prominent H, it's Panther.
Oh, okay, okay,
Yeah,
okay.
it's Panther.
Panther.
Yeah.
Okay, okay.
So just the her enables her to be more proud of herself and her
Yeah.
achievements, because solidarity, and a lot of women who can think that she's introduced a tire, why can't I try it? So it's like not a process that's going to change in weeks or months. It will take years, maybe my daughter's generation, where they realize that yes, it's okay to
You ride a
drive
bike
a
and
bike.
drive a bike.
And it's just going to enable the generation to work forward for the welfare of the country, because at the end of the day, empowered women are the most successful, because we've got 51% population of women.
Yes, and we've got about
Yeah.
a youth bulge of about 68 to 70% of the
Yes,
whole population
yes.
as youth, and this
Yes.
is an amazing initiative.
A lot of people, I was amazed the response that they had. Brilliant response. Not a single company or any government official or any person that I used to discuss, they were like,
oppose it or
of
anything like
course,
that.
no, they were also, I said, I've got such a great response towards my friend. Not even one individual opposed it.
Wow.
I thought it's a male chauvinist country, people will never, and
Buy
they were
this.
all so, yes, they were so ready to accept, and they're ready to embrace it and like execute it. See, of course, where women empowerment is honestly
Yeah.
is the next action that we need to take
Yeah.
before our country leaves
No, I know.
for nothing.
No, we all believe in it, and
Yeah.
obviously I always say, there's a lot of drawing room talk about skepticism, negativity, and all that stuff.
Yeah.
I always say we have so many talented people here.
Yes.
We just need to expose them, explore them.
Yes.
And we believe in Pakistan,
Yes,
and
of
Pakistan
course.
is here to stay, and we have to make it a
Pakistan,
better place.
You see, I always say so many people are leaving, and I keep on saying them, please don't leave, because if you say that it's our motherland, you can't leave your sick mother.
Yeah.
Inshallah, we have full faith
Yeah. And
with
we'll
the
make it
youth
happen.
that we have,
Yeah.
that please stay and live for this country.
Yeah,
This
it has given
is
us
the
our
beautiful
identity,
land.
it has
Of
given
course,
us everything, of course.
Of course.
So Zenith, coming back to you, so you started learning how to ride a bike, and how long did it take? What, about a month's time or what?
No, it only took barely a week.
A week, as you had the flair for it. And you continued your studies, you started going to school on your motorbike?
I started going to college, whom I went A-levels on my bike.
Which college
and
did you go to?
I went to Lahore Learning Campus.
Okay.
And then for A-levels I went to KIMS.
Okay. And what was the reaction of your teachers and all your friends and students? How would they take? I'm sure you would have probably the only one.
I was the only one.
Yeah?
I
Going
was
on a
the
motorbike to
only
school, college?
one. There was not even a proper institute where they were teaching how girls have to ride a bike.
Okay.
Because I researched it online at that time.
You
there
didn't.
wasn't
So your
a
brother
proper-
taught
So my
you.
brother taught me, and there wasn't even a proper place for me to even get a license. So I had to wait for a couple of years to get one. Because after the Women on Wheels campaign by the government of Punjab, that's when they started rolling out license for females.
Okay.
And so it was a journey for me legally, to be able to get a license and all. But, and then, yes, my teachers were very surprised. I still
Did you get any resistance?
No, the only resistance I got was from public, like when I would be standing on a traffic light and, somebody would catcall me or say something.
Why, okay.
And sometimes somebody would follow you for a few kilometers. And then
But you would, I'm sure you would outdrive them.
Yes,
Yeah.
I did. And I have to be very careful, like with your back, you have to always keep a check on who's following you with your side mirrors.
And you would always wear a helmet?
I was always wear a helmet. There is a saying, not a saying, but a rule when it comes to biking. It's called ATG, all the gear, all the time. You cannot go even for a small snack. If you want to buy a small snack, as only like few meters away, you have to go on a bike, you have to wear a helmet.
You can't
Yes.
say that it's just 2 minutes away.
Yes.
That should also be promoted along with the...
Yeah.
We are doing that
You're
here.
doing that?
Yes.
No, you being a woman yourself, I'm sure you understand the issues and problems,
Yeah.
and it's a great initiative to actually work on it and make it happen. Zenith, tell me one thing. So when this thing started, you started going to school and you got familiar with the idea, people started buying in. What were the immediate challenges or hurdles that you faced in continuing with the same? So initially, yes, okay, people buy it, but then after some time, and which was your first bike? Tell us about that also.
My bike was a 70cc.
CD70?
CD70, a
Okay.
very popular
Yes, brand,
manufacturer.
yeah.
And then I upgraded to a 125 from the same brand.
Okay.
And that's the first trip that I did was on a 125cc bike.
So this first long trip of yours, it was a planned trip?
It was a planned trip because I had a summer break, and it wasn't like a summer break, you can call it a semester break, and I had a few weeks, and that's when I decided, let me just go on this journey towards Khunjra Pass, because Khunjra Pass is known as a heaven for motorcyclists. It's a ultimate goal for every adventure motorcyclist to ride in Khunjra. And
Okay.
I was 1 month on the road. I explored Skardu, Rama Valley.
And you were all on your own, or was it a combined trip?
It was a combined trip. So my brother was riding a 150cc,
Okay.
and I was riding a 125, and we had a couple of other friends join me. And
They
we
were all
were
on
about
bikes?
6. Yes, we were on our bikes, and that's how I learned a lot on the road, like how to carry stuff, how to pack. What are some of the things that were unnecessary for me during the journey?
You can't carry an extra load.
Yes.
And were there other girls also in this trip, or they were just guys and you were the only girl?
There wasn't nobody. That's the thing, because when I started riding, I couldn't even like Google somebody and ask for her advice. So there were a few riders, but they never did a long motorcycle journey. Nobody. It was mostly men who were doing that, and the women who were actually riding for long distances were not Pakistani. They were just passersby.
Foreigners, they were just
Yeah.
doing excursion or...
Yes, exactly. So I never had like a person who could guide me, except for one person, Adnan Hussain, who is my mentor. I consider him my teacher.
He's the
And-
producer of the movie also, is it? Are you talking
No,
about
that was Adnan Sarwar.
That was Tansar.
But this was another biking fellow who actually taught me how to ride in the mountains.
Ah.
So it was like a leap of faith, because I was putting myself into the unknown, no idea on how I'm supposed to be riding uphill, because it's a very different technique you're supposed to be riding on. Like you have to lower your gears and you have to be careful.
So it's a totally different ball game,
Yes.
other than the normal bike ride that you do.
It's very, and off-road is also different. So I was just like, I'll learn on the way. I'm not going to sit at home and just think, when will I go next? Because there might not be a second time, like in the case of my father. That's why.
Your father was a biker also?
He was in the army,
Okay.
so he never got a chance because he was so busy.
But he had this dream and
Yeah,
vision of
exactly.
being a biker.
So because life is so unpredictable, and
Yeah.
I might never know if I'll wake up the next morning. Why don't I do it now when I'm 20 years old? I'm young, I have the energy.
Yeah.
So that's how I did it.
So you completed your studies, you did your bachelor's?
Yes, in marketing and finance, and
Okay.
double majors from Lahore School of Economics.
Okay. And what have you decided? You want to continue with this biking, but how would you support yourself or your family? Like, what's
Yeah,
your source
yeah.
of livelihood?
So when somebody asks me what do I do and I tell them I'm a traveler, the first question they ask is what do I do?
How interesting is this?
Yes, I mean it's so difficult. I understand.
Yeah.
Well, the drawbacks of being a traveler is you do not have stable income like a 9 to 5 job. Like you do
Yeah.
not have stable salary coming in,
Yeah.
and that's the only financial challenge I have when it comes to this because you're working project based. So it's because what I did was I started getting work when I was studying.
Mm-hmm.
So because like I told you earlier, I got attention of many massive media outlets and brands.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I was getting sponsored, and that's how I was brands wanted to work with me. They wanted to portray a different face of a Pakistani woman.
Mhm.
Okay.
So long gone are the days where they would pick up a skinny girl wearing heavy makeup and hairspray, posting for the brand. Now the whole entire marketing arena has changed.
Mm-hmm.
It has become more digital, and we want real and raw faces. So that's what I put myself like I market myself as that, you know,
Okay.
that I am that Pakistani girl that you might relate to, you know, because
Ah.
I have like dusky skin, you know, I have like a tan, and you know, I
You're
might
using
not
it to
be-
your advantage.
Yeah,
Huh?
so-
No, but
and
that's
people
good.
relate-
You
Yeah,
see?
yeah.
People relate to it a lot.
Yes,
I mean,
absolutely.
Yeah, I think the real thing that you know
And that is the attractive thing.
in marketing,
That is real.
yeah, always testimonials count the most because you know
Yes.
that's the real input that you're getting. Otherwise, any person can just you know come up and
Yeah.
say that okay, I love this product, but a person who has used it, as Aisha mentioned, like
Yes.
you know, that's what counts the most. And what do you plan to do in? You want to build on this? You want to remain in this field, promote tourism and all, or you want to switch careers, have a proper, stable, professional life along with your passion?
I feel this is my proper profession now because there is so much more that I have to do. I have still not yet reached my potential. It does come with its challenges because it's very unpredictable, it's very volatile, so it's not very stable like a 9 to 5 job. And I'll be honest with you, 8 years in this profession, I don't see myself doing a 9 to 5 job.
No.
You know,
That's how
I
come.
have all respect for our workers, but it's not for me. It's not my cup of tea at all.
Yeah.
So I will, of course, continue with this journey of mine, and because motorcycle for me is like a tool.
Mhm.
I use it as a tool to communicate how you also, as a woman in Pakistan, can live up to your dreams. You
Yeah.
know? What are some of the things that you can adopt in your personality or in your lifestyle that might help you make your dream a reality? You know.
Yeah.
And this is my actual motto. So my motto for Zenith Irfan is dream big.
Dreaming. And I think that's a source of inspiration for a lot of young girls who would be watching the program right now, that there's no harm in dreaming big and having a vision, and then it can become a reality. It will become a reality if you believe in it.
Yes, and I also believe if your dreams don't make you wake up at night, they are not big enough. Like
they're not
you
serious
you
enough.
have to dream big.
Yeah.
And because like you know, we do 9 to 5 jobs, we are earning our bread and butter, we do everything, we put the food on the table for our children or our family, but what is the what is the heart want? What is that you know, that voice in your heart that continuously knocks
Yeah.
and is asking you to pursue something that you were actually created for?
Ah.
Because I believe we are created here for a reason. We're just not pointless. when we live,
Absolutely,
you know.
absolutely. So it's not every day that biopic gets made in your name, you know, like you really need to be someone that someone thinks of making a biopic, okay, you know, like the motorcycle girl I'm talking about. Adnan was the producer, right? And obviously that would have given you butterflies in your stomach, right? Someone is making a movie about me. How did that come about?
It did not give me butterflies, it gave me anxiety.
Anxiety? Why is that?
Yeah, because I was very young, I was only 24, and I mean there's so much more that I am supposed to be doing, like, and it's not enough, the story is not complete. But Adnan told me that we have a lot of love stories, we have masala films in our Pakistani cinema, and not enough biopics that are centered around a real story, which is why I want to make that film. And when he gave me that vision, I said yes to him. and it was released. It was.
So it is your story right from start
Yes,
to
it
end?
is my story. Of course, there are some bits and pieces that are tweaked
Yeah.
for these purpose of
Commercialism
cinema
and cinema entertainment, yeah.
Yes, but overall, it is like 80% of it is based on my story. And
Okay.
it was well received and critically acclaimed.
Yeah.
So, the actor who played my role, she won an award.
Sohaya
for playing-
Abro?
Sohaya Abro, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
For playing Zenith Irfan. She
Ah.
actually won an award for it.
Wow.
And Adnan didn't ask you to play your role yourself?
I was studying. And I
Ah.
was actually, I am kind of like a nerd, like I was into my studies, I was focused, I had exams.
Okay.
When they were filming up north, I was actually giving my exams in MSc.
And then another famous producer, Sayyid Noor, also approached you, I believe.
Yeah, that's the story that I never told ever in an interview, that he did approach me during the same time period.
Okay.
Sayyid Noor
For the
Sahab-
same movie?
Sayyid Noor Sahab wanted to make a similar film, casting me.
Okay.
But at that time, because I had a contract signed with Dance
Adnan,
Server, I
yeah.
had to politely decline.
Okay.
But he really wanted to make like a motorcycle documentary type film, and he had this vision. I remember meeting him for it, and we are still friends. I'm still friends with his family. And
Ah.
Why don't you do it?
I don't know. I was
Are you
very
still under
nervous.
the contract with them?
No, not.
So
now.
do it now. You've done more. You've seen more. You've experienced more.
I want to do like a Netflix type documentary.
Netflix,
That-
right? No, no.
Why not?
I'm going to talk about the northern areas that you explored and the beauty and, you know, like unseen areas of Pakistan, which most of the public hasn't seen. But before that, Ayesha, tell me, this initiative that you launched, as you talked initially in the program also, women empowerment, and to promote tourism, which is another very, very big avenue which is still untapped and unexplored in Pakistan. What are the initial results? Because it's been some time now. What, 1 year, 2 years since you launched
No,
this?
it's the female brand.
yeah.
About 8 months.
8 months.
Yeah.
So what till now, what are the results showing? Are they encouraging? Are they stagnant? Or are they still have to grow?
Depending on the areas. In Karachi, it's doing very well.
Yeah.
So that shows that the awareness is there.
Yeah.
But there are some areas, I'm talking about just the particular Panther tire,
Yeah.
because it will reflect the other sales too.
Yes.
And my sales team will
Yeah.
not like it.
Yeah, yeah.
Because it's a complete different, diverse, clients that we have for, our buyers are different. But for the female tires, I think we're still struggling.
Okay.
Because, when a girl wants to have a tire, she has to have a bike. She can't just have a tire and wear.
Yeah.
because- So I always say that it's just not the tire. I need to own the journey. So how do I need to own the journey? So we are introducing EV bikes now. So that's in the pipeline.
Okay.
Yes.
That's something novel.
Yes,
Okay.
so because I just can't play with my tire that please, it has to go somewhere. So I thought to myself, if I can manufacture a tire, why can't we do the bikes? So we've been trying hard,
Okay.
and the customized beautiful bikes that we have, so that girls can, just not drive a boring scooty. So
Okay.
we've launched wonderful, beautiful bikes.
Is it
which have-
launched?
no, we're still like
Process, in
that's
the
the
process. And
It's-
is it
it's a long-
indigenous or is it like co-production or is it
It's
an
a
imported bike?
co-production. It's a co-production. So we're not manufacturing the tires, motorbikes. I hope we do it soon, but we're just customizing it.
Okay.
So basically, we were like just trying to get hold of the right people who are going to manufacture the needs that we want, because I don't want to compromise on the quality.
Yeah.
Because EV bikes is a very technical thing. If you go wrong, people already have a perception of have a failed solar systems.
Yeah.
Initially, we had issues. So with this, I just want to be 100% sure.
Before you
Because-
go in the...
Of course, because the trend is EV. We have
That's
to
the future.
have it. So I'm just, frankly speaking, I just want and wish the big companies come up as, big players.
Yeah.
So we can, relaunch it.
Yeah.
But I'm more focused in customizing it.
Okay. That's
So we
good.
do, it's so interesting. We get the battery from somewhere. We do the bodies from Honda or the Honda body.
You actually design
CD.
it.
Of course, it's so beautiful for the women.
Yeah.
For the men, we already have launched it. The Babar Azam, we hired it as a brand ambassador. And the bike is already there. So we're just taking orders now. So we're trying to help the nation as much as we can.
But it's a paradigm shift from your actual business, right? It's a new
Yes.
line actually,
Yes,
which is
it's a
good.
new
Yeah,
line.
that's business growing. That's
Yes.
Pakistan growing. Zenith, tell me one thing. What Ayesha just mentioned, if these electric vehicles or electric bikes come in, that's not too good news for adventurers, you know, like because I believe they can't travel fast or they have speed limits and all that stuff.
Yeah, I mean, there is certain
And they're not that sturdy for that matter, I don't know.
Well, they are different. I will answer this question by actually categorizing different type of motorcycle riders. So we have our normal commute bikes, where we have commute riders that go to their normal 9 to 5 work, schools, and then we have adventure riders like me who are into long distance traveling, and then we have another category called sports enthusiasts that will have a heavy bike. They just want speed, they just want torque and nothing else. So I come into the adventure motorcycles category, and so far we do not have a bike that's EV and running on batteries and can travel long distances because of the lack of infrastructure when it comes to charging these vehicles. And when we speak about getting out of the city, the more and more we travel up north or down south, we are faced with some issues when it comes to electricity, you know.
Okay.
So of course it is a challenge, but there's a very reputed brand that actually launched a proper long distance EV scooter.
Oh, okay.
And that is the first of a kind scooter that can travel long distance.
And that's available in the market?
It's available only abroad.
Abroad,
and it's
not
like
here.
very costly to import it
Okay.
to Pakistan.
Okay.
Because Pakistan has a very regressive automotive market. You know, we have taxes, duties, and because we do not have much manufacturers doing it locally. So I'm very happy to hear this because we don't have companies that are taking the risk and saying we're going to make the bikes here. You know, let's bring the production back home.
Okay.
So I'm very happy to hear this because it's going to change the entire industry of biking. When you introduce EV vehicles, it breaks competition, it breaks monopoly. We have a new entry into the market, and it can help school-going girls, college-going girls, workers. Like let me give you a very good example. You know, nowadays we have beauty home services. People have they don't want to go to the salon, and these girls come in with their bags, you know, a beauty bag, and they come and do your facial, manicure, pedicure.
They're all
And then they come in rickshaws, and they have so much trouble just coming from home to home. You know, imagine they're just handed over an EV bike. Imagine how many more women will get the job.
They can take control of the
contribute to the
business.
economy.
Yes, and actually, as much as I know, anyone who I share this idea, women, I'm talking about particularly women, and they say, ma'am, hame bhi de de. I mean, they just want to have a bike. There are people, it's just that no one is taking an incentive to launch a female bike.
So, did you do any lobbying or with the government? Is the government supportive to this
Very supportive.
initiative? It is.
I mean, I'm a very apolitical person because I always believes in the welfare of my country. So I think but yes, government officials approached me and they were very helpful. But right now with the fiasco that's going on, I say whatever I want to do, I'll just do it. Because, you know, when you involve the government, definitely it's a different platform. They have the masses. They can reach the masses. But right now, we always say that from our end, we'll do what we have to do and let the government, whatever they want us to do, with there too.
Okay. Zenith, tell me one thing. One perception that most of the international travelers who come to Pakistan have in their mind before they reach is that Pakistan is not that safe comparatively or not that pretty as all the European destinations. You've been around, you've traveled on bike, which is like real, you know, stuff. How did you, can you tell us a bit about your, you know, like your experience about the facilities, the beauty of North, and what kind of experiences did you get there?
I don't think there's any country in the world that is safe. Let me just begin by that.
Okay.
I mean, there are of course dangers. I'm not going to say a very fancy line over here and say, hey, you know, Pakistan is safe. I think everywhere you go, even the States or you go to Europe, there will be some sort of danger when it comes to traveling. How you navigate and how you travel is another story.
Okay.
So Pakistan is safe because so far I haven't had any problems, like touch wood, where I would believe that, hey, I'm in a very vulnerable situation. And it's also because I exercise certain rules and boundaries when I'm traveling. So we have rules like no traveling after sunset,
Okay.
not talking extra or giving out extra information to strangers you meet on the way, not disclosing your personal details or the hotels you're staying in. So there are certain rules that I even speak about this on my social media.
Yeah.
So if anybody wants to travel solo, they can follow them.
Yeah.
And also,
And these are generic rules which have to be followed everywhere
Yes.
around the world.
exactly.
Absolutely.
It's not like Pakistan.
Yeah.
you know,
Yes,
I mean,
absolutely.
And it's, I mean, it's very sad to know that Pakistan has always been portrayed as this country where women are oppressed and it's so unsafe. It's
And-
not only Pakistan, and
Yeah.
the most, so like there are facilities, but Pakistan has so much potential. I really wish the government focuses on building more hotel and lodging facilities in remote areas, but at the same time, I also wish they don't, because then people are going to come and they're going to destroy the natural habitat of the region. So secretly, I wish that it
With commercialization
Yeah,
comes
comes-
other challenges
Yes,
also.
but there are facilities. I mean, the Aga Khan Foundation has done tremendous work when it comes to Gilgit-Baltistan, and then we have, of course, TDCP working over here in Punjab region. So there are tourist organizations and companies that are working towards putting Pakistan, like I said earlier, on the map, making it the next tourist destination. And I'm just a small player in this entire,
You're doing your bit.
I'm doing my bit, I'm just doing Aisha's doing her bit. We both are doing our bits together in how whatever capacity and power we have. But I'm always received with open arms, doors open for me, people welcome me, and the most beautiful thing is they might not even have dinner to eat that night.
But
you
they
know,
offer you.
But they have a place for me, and that's one of the
Wow.
most beautiful things.
So this speaks volumes about people of Pakistan. Generally, all over Pakistan, they're very hospitable.
Absolutely.
And like they would welcome you with open arms, and they would encourage your initiative. They would support your initiative. Yeah, for that matter.
Yes.
And tell us about the beauty of North. What's the best place, the most picturesque place you visited?
So far the best place that I have been to is Parsan Valley. It's a 40-kilometer off-road track from Chitral, and the second one would be Skardu. The reason I love Baltistan region, the entire Skardu region, is because you will find mountains, river, and the desert in one place. So imagine you combine it both,
Wow.
and it forces you to think, of course there is Allah. Of course
Beshak.
this cannot be possible.
Absolutely.
Just it cannot be random.
Yeah.
It's one of the most beautiful scenery ever, and imagine riding a bike in the wind.
Oh my God.
So you got Pride of Pakistan award also. The government of Pakistan recognized your efforts. What was, when was that, and how did that come about?
This happened 2 years ago, on 23rd of March 2021. I was awarded for my services in the tourism industry by the ISPR and government Pakistan. I actually was in Islamabad to receive that award.
Wow.
And I was one of the few people who was awarded the Pride of Pakistan award. So
Wow.
it was a big achievement. One
Wow.
of my biggest awards that I've ever received.
Awesome, and must have made you so much proud, your family, and must
Yeah.
have given you the encouragement to do more.
It actually gave me more responsibility.
Yeah.
With every success and every goal point that I hit, I become more responsible. I'm like, okay, I have to represent Pakistan. I have to be a role model for the young girls that look up to me.
Yeah.
How can I do it better? How can I communicate my vision better? How can I help brands do it better? So it's more of a responsibility, I would say. Yeah.
Right. Cool. Aisha, what are the future plans? What newer initiatives are you working on, or what further do we have in the bag?
We have plans, of course, but I'm so glad to have all these empowered women around me who are a support and who are a vision to the country that, yes, Pakistan is a continent where you can do whatever you want. It's just the way you dream. So to make this happen, you need to dream big,
Yeah.
and execution and trust.
Wow. That's amazing. Zenith, when you go on these excursions, these trips, these planned trips, do you film your voyage, your journey also, so that people can relate more directly to your journey and to the places that you visit?
Yes, I film. I'm very lucky to have a brother who is a filmmaker. So he films me on the road. And what we do is that we do a little bit of research on each region that we're traveling. So the last travel I did for Explore with Panther was to Shimshal Valley, where I kind of like Shimshal Valley is very remote. It takes you 2 hours and a very deadly, one of Pakistan's dangerous tracks to travel through it. So because of course I had Panther tires installed, the journey was 10 times easier for me. The grip was good, the tires grip was good, and I was safe. And when you have brands behind you supporting you for your vision, and when you have a motive and a story to tell, it becomes very easy. I'm very privileged, I'm very lucky to be given that resources by Allah. And so we do a little bit of research, and in that research what I found out was Shimshal is the only village that every person that has come out from the village has accomplished a dream of theirs. So they are dream enablers, you know, they really go out of the way to make it a reality. They don't just sit down and think, they make it happen. And then I told Amreena's story in one of our episodes where she plays football for the Gilgit-Baltistan Girls Football League, and she's playing for her community. I remember asking her a question like, when you do a goal, you know, when you hit a goal, how does it feel? And she's like, that goal was not for me, it was for my community.
Wow.
And imagine a 16-year-old girl telling you this, who might not be on social media, and she might not even have that resources like a football ground. And she really gave me goosebumps. Her answer gave me goosebumps. And
There's so much talent.
She does more for her community, and that is what I and Ayesha are doing alive for Pakistan. You know, we are trying to make sure that Pakistanis, you know, have it in them, you know, that feeling of being proud to be a Pakistani, to have a Pakistani passport. I know we have our challenges, it's okay. Without challenges, life would be boring and
very dull.
Very dull. You know,
Absolutely.
So yeah,
Can't agree more.
yeah, it will be dull. Imagine life without death, you know, I mean, you'll be just like living and you're just immortal, so it's a very deep concept.
So, have you ever planned to travel internationally, do an international excursion? Like, I think one of your friends, Samar Khan,
Yeah,
she
Samar,
went to
really good
Africa and Kilimanjaro,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
she was telling about an amazing journey. So, have you ever thought of doing it internationally?
Yes, I do have. It's in the pipeline,
Okay.
and I do plan on traveling abroad. So then also because, you know, if you do such journeys, it helps to give a silent message that, hey, you know, she's actually a Pakistani girl on a bike riding through our villages, through our valleys. So it's like a kind of like a silent message. I do have plans to do that, and I hopefully will, inshallah.
Inshallah, inshallah, great. It's been lovely talking to both you, both of you. You know, like it's so heartening to note that if a brand comes up and supports a talented individual, it can do wonders. And as I always say in all my programs, Pakistan is full of talent, so much potential. We just need that platform, that enabler who can work that individual or that talented personality into blossoming and, you know, making Pakistan further proud. So this was the journey of two beautiful ladies we have in our program today. Before we sign off, Ayesha, would you like to say anything to our viewers, any message for the young girls who are watching you right now?
Absolutely. All I can say is that girls, trust in yourself and manifest what you dream, because eventually manifestation is what it's required.
Absolutely.
So live your dreams.
Live your dreams, think big, and, you know, make it happen. And Zenith, what would you like to say?
I would just like bounce off from the same thing. I mean, believe in yourself. Do not silence that voice, that inner voice that you have, because like I was mentioning earlier, there's a reason you're here. There's a reason you're alive, breathing, and that reason is so that you can fulfill your dreams. So
Absolutely.
if your dreams don't scare you, you're not dreaming big enough.
Find your call.
Yeah,
Find your calling.
exactly.
Yes, absolutely.
Absolutely amazing. Zenith, I wish you all the best.
Thank you so much.
May
for having
you
me.
grow further, may you go to higher places, and
Inshallah.
inshallah make Pakistan more proud.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much. Aisha, thank you very
Thank
much
you
for
so
your time.
much. Thank you.
With this, we come to the end of this episode of Sky is the Limit. Inshallah, I will see you in another episode. Till then, Allah Hafiz.